If the first thing you drink every morning is coffee, you might be making your kidneys work a lot harder than they need to. And nobody has ever told you why. Stay with me on this, because what I'm about to show you is going to change how you think about your morning routine for good. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been to a doctor's appointment? Maybe just a routine checkup. And the doctor glanced at your blood work and said something like, "Your creatinine is a little elevated, but let's keep an eye on it." And then moved on. No explanation. No plan. Just keep an eye on it. And you walked out of that office thinking, what does that even mean? Should I be worried? What am I supposed to do about it? Or maybe it's not you. Maybe it's someone you know. A neighbor. A friend from church. A family member who ended up on dialysis. And you watched what that did to their life. 3 times a week. 4 hours each session. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there's this quiet voice that wonders, could that happen to me? Here's what I want you to know. Kidney disease doesn't announce itself. There's no alarm. No warning light on the dashboard. Over 37 million Americans are living with some degree of kidney decline right now. And most of them have absolutely no idea. Because by the time you feel symptoms, the damage is already significant. But here's the part that nobody tells you. A huge portion of that damage is connected to what happens in one specific window every single day. A window that lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. The first 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up. And almost everyone is handling that window wrong. Let me show you what I mean. Because once you see what's actually happening inside your body during those minutes, everything else clicks into place. Every night, you go 7 to 8 hours without a single drop of liquid. Not a sip. Nothing. But your kidneys don't take the night off. They keep filtering your blood the entire time. Hour after hour. Pulling out waste, excess minerals, cellular debris, everything your body doesn't need. But with no new fluid coming in, all of that waste has nowhere to go. It just keeps concentrating. Getting thicker. Heavier. Harder to move. Think of it like this. Your kidneys are the filter in a swimming pool. That filter runs 24 hours a day. But imagine someone turned off the water supply overnight while the filter kept running. By morning, that filter is working against the thickest, dirtiest water it will see all day. The pressure is higher. The load is heavier. Everything is harder. That's your kidneys at 6 a.m. And that's exactly when most people walk into the kitchen and pour themselves a cup of coffee. Which brings me to the first morning mistake. Drinking coffee before anything else. Now, I need to say this clearly because I don't want anyone to misunderstand me. I am not telling you to quit coffee. That's not what this is about. I drink it myself. Coffee is not the villain here. The timing is the villain. Coffee is a mild diuretic. It tells your kidneys to produce more urine. On a normal afternoon, when you've been drinking fluids all day, that's nothing. Your body handles it easily. But at 6 or 7 in the morning, when your system has been running dry for 8 hours, when your kidneys are already filtering blood that's thicker than it should be. Adding a diuretic on top of that is like asking someone who just ran a marathon to sprint another mile. You're piling extra work onto a system that's already strained. And this isn't just my opinion. A major study out of Canada tracked kidney function over years and found a clear pattern. People who maintained better hydration showed a significantly slower decline in kidney function over time. The relationship was consistent. Better hydration, slower decline. And the National Kidney Foundation has flagged something that matters enormously for anyone watching this. As you get older, your sense of thirst decreases. Your body literally stops telling you it needs water as clearly as it used to. Which means a lot of people over 60 are walking around dehydrated every single morning. And they don't even know it. So here's what nephrologists actually suggest. And I promise you, this is the easiest change you'll hear today. When you wake up, before the coffee, before breakfast, before anything, drink 1 glass of water. Most nephrologists suggest 8 to 12 ounces. Room temperature or slightly warm. Not cold. Cold water causes a mild constriction in your blood vessels, which is the last thing you want when your kidneys are already pushing against concentrated blood. Warm water is gentler. It absorbs more easily. Now, add one thing to that glass. A single slice of fresh lemon. Just one. Here's why. Lemon contains a natural compound called citrate. And citrate is one of your body's own defenses against kidney stones. It binds to calcium in your urine and prevents crystals from forming and sticking together. A clinical trial published in eClinical Medicine, which is part of The Lancet, tested fresh lemon juice in patients with recurrent kidney stones. The results suggested that lemon juice supplementation may help prevent stones from coming back. And the National Kidney Foundation recommends about 4 ounces of lemon juice per day, specifically to increase urinary citrate. You don't need 4 ounces first thing in the morning. 1 slice in your water is a simple starting point that adds up over time. After that glass, wait about 15 minutes. Then have your coffee. That's the whole change. You're not giving anything up. You're just giving your kidneys a head start before you add anything else to the equation. 1 glass, 1 slice of lemon, 15 minutes before coffee. It sounds almost too simple to matter. But when you do it every morning, 365 days a year, the compound effect is real. And your kidneys will feel the difference long before you ever see it on a blood test. Now, the second mistake. I almost didn't include this one, because I know people are going to push back on it. It goes against something most of us have believed our entire lives. But the research is too clear, and the impact is too important to leave it out. Mistake number 2. Starting your morning with orange juice or a banana. I know how that sounds. Orange juice and bananas are healthy. Your mother told you they were healthy. Your doctor probably told you they were healthy. And in most situations, they're right. For a younger person with perfectly functioning kidneys, orange juice and bananas are fine. But here's what changes after 60. And I really need you to hear this. After the age of 40, kidney function begins to decline naturally. It's gradual. It's normal. But it's real. By the time you're in your 60s or 70s, your kidneys are not processing certain things as efficiently as they used to. One of those things is potassium. A medium banana has over 400 milligrams of potassium. A glass of orange juice has even more. For kidneys that are already under stress, already filtering thick, concentrated blood from the overnight fast, that potassium load first thing in the morning adds another layer of work on top of everything else. Is it going to send you to the emergency room? No. But multiply that by every morning for 10 years. 20 years. The cumulative effect is what catches people. It's always the cumulative effect. So what do you eat instead? Berries. Blueberries and strawberries specifically. And the difference is dramatic. 1 cup of blueberries has about 114 milligrams of potassium. Compare that to the 400 plus in a banana. That's less than a third of the load, with more protective benefit. Because berries don't just take away a problem. They add something. Blueberries and strawberries are packed with compounds called anthocyanins. These are natural antioxidants that research shows protect blood vessels from damage. A study in animals with metabolic syndrome found that a blueberry-enriched diet significantly improved kidney filtration rate, increased blood flow to the kidneys, and reduced vascular resistance in kidney tissue. In human studies, higher intake of anthocyanins from berries has been linked to roughly a 25% lower risk of coronary artery disease. And the National Kidney Foundation, this is important. The National Kidney Foundation specifically lists blueberries as a kidney-friendly superfood. Low potassium. High protection. There's one more thing about berries that doesn't get enough attention. They help stabilize blood sugar. When blood sugar spikes sharply, repeatedly, year after year, it quietly damages the tiny blood vessels that supply your kidneys with oxygen. You never feel it happening. There's no pain. But over time, that damage adds up. Starting your morning with berries instead of juice keeps those spikes smaller. Your kidneys take less strain from a direction most people never even think about. Here's the recipe. Takes 3 minutes. Half a cup of blueberries, half a cup of strawberries, blended with plain unsweetened yogurt and a little water or ice. Done. The yogurt adds protein and supports healthy gut bacteria, which research suggests may benefit kidney function indirectly by reducing inflammation. A spoonful of ground flaxseed is a nice bonus for fiber if you want it. But here's the rule. No added sugar, no sweetened yogurt, no fruit juice as a base. The berries are sweet enough. The moment you add sugar, you undo what you're trying to accomplish. Tell me in the comments, were you a banana person or an orange juice person? I want to know how many of you just had your morning routine called out. Be honest. Now, let me ask you something before we move on. Think about tomorrow morning. Picture your kitchen counter, the coffee maker, the orange juice in the fridge, the bananas on the counter. Now picture swapping just one of those things. 1 glass of water with lemon before the coffee. Or a handful of blueberries instead of the banana. That's it. That's the whole shift. Can you see it? Good. Hold on to that picture. because making it real is easier than you think. Now, the third mistake is different from the first two. This one isn't about something you're doing wrong. It's about something you're missing entirely. A window of protection that most people walk right past every single morning without even knowing it's there. Mistake number 3. Missing what green tea can do for your kidneys. Here's the thing about your kidney cells. They don't just filter your blood and call it a day. That filtering process itself generates harmful byproducts, unstable molecules that damage the cells doing the work. Scientists call them reactive oxygen species. Think of them like exhaust fumes from an engine. The engine has to run, but the fumes it produces wear down the parts over time. Your kidney cells deal with those fumes 24 hours a day. But by morning, after 8 hours of nonstop work with no fresh fluid coming in, the buildup is at its peak. Those cells are tired. They've taken more hits overnight than they will at any other point in the day. Green tea contains a compound called EGCG, and researchers have measured its antioxidant potency at 25 times that of vitamin E and 100 times that of vitamin C. Multiple studies have shown that this compound reduces oxidative stress in kidney tissue, lowers markers of inflammation, and protects kidney cells from various types of damage. A study in aged mice found that green tea extract significantly boosted antioxidant enzyme activity in kidney tissue. Now let me be straight with you. Most of this research comes from animal and laboratory studies. We don't have a 20-year clinical trial in humans proving that green tea prevents kidney disease. I won't pretend that we do, but the biological mechanism is well understood. The safety profile is excellent. And the potential benefit is significant enough that adding 1 or 2 cups to your morning is a very reasonable decision. But here's where most people go wrong with green tea. They ruin it before it ever reaches their system. Do not use boiling water. Boiling water destroys the EGCG. Heat your water to about 170 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't have a thermometer, just let the kettle sit for a couple of minutes after it boils. Pour it over the tea. Steep for 2 to 3 minutes. Not longer. Longer steeping makes it bitter and actually breaks down the compounds you're trying to preserve. And this part is really important. Do not add sugar. Sugar damages blood vessels over time. The same vessels your kidneys depend on for oxygen and nutrients. Adding sugar to green tea is like locking your front door and leaving the back door wide open. You're protecting one side and exposing the other. Use a slice of lemon instead. It actually improves absorption of the beneficial compounds. If caffeine is a concern, decaffeinated green tea keeps the vast majority of the EGCG intact. The caffeine comes out. The protection stays. And if you simply will not give up your morning coffee no matter what, here's the order. Water with lemon first. Green tea second. Coffee third. By the time coffee enters the picture, your kidneys have already gotten everything they need. Now, one more thing before I let you go. This is a bonus, and it's not for everyone. But if it applies to you, it could be one of the most important things you hear today. If you're a woman who has dealt with recurrent urinary tract infections, Or if you're someone who seems to get them more often than you used to, listen carefully. A major Cochrane review from 2023 analyzed 50 studies with nearly 9,000 participants. Cranberry products reduce the overall risk of urinary tract infections by about 30% across the board. But here's the important nuance. When researchers looked specifically at elderly populations in institutional settings, the benefit was much less clear. Where cranberry really proved itself was in women with a history of recurrent UTIs. In that group, the evidence is strong. Here's how it works. Cranberries contain compounds called proanthocyanidins. These don't kill bacteria. What they do is physically prevent certain bacteria from attaching to the walls of your urinary tract. The bacteria can't grab on. They can't anchor. They can't multiply. They just get flushed out the next time you urinate. The infection never gets started. And here's why this matters for your kidneys. Your urinary tract and your kidneys are connected by a direct path. Bacteria that settle in the bladder don't always stay in the bladder. Under the right conditions, concentrated urine, slow flow, warm, stagnant environment, they can migrate upward toward the kidneys. And the damage they cause when they reach the kidneys is slow, quiet, and very hard to detect until it's already well established. Preventing infections down below is one of the most direct ways to protect the kidneys up above. The only version worth buying is unsweetened. Read the label. If sugar is anywhere on that list, put it back. If the taste is too tart, dilute it. 1 part juice to 3 parts water. The active compounds stay effective at that concentration. What most studies used was about 3 to 4 ounces in the morning, consistently. Now let's step back and look at the full picture. Because when you see all of this together, something becomes very clear. Every single morning, your kidneys wake up to the hardest conditions they'll face all day. Concentrated blood, concentrated waste, maximum stress on the cells doing the filtering, and for most people, the first thing they do, without realizing it, is add to that load. Coffee on an empty dehydrated system. High potassium fruit piling on extra work. No antioxidant support for cells that just took 8 hours of wear. 3 simple changes can help address 3 different problems in that same window. Water with lemon restores the flow and helps prevent crystals from forming. Berries replace a high potassium, high sugar breakfast with something that's lighter on your kidneys and protective for your blood vessels. And green tea delivers antioxidant support directly to the cells that need it most. At the exact moment they need it most. That's it. That's the whole morning routine. Water, berries, tea. Things your grandmother had access to. Things that cost almost nothing. Things you can start tomorrow morning. And here's what I want to leave you with. Your kidneys have been showing up for you every single day of your life. Every minute. Every hour. Filtering your blood over and over again without stopping, without complaining, without ever asking you for anything. They've done that for 60, 70, 80 years. Through everything you've put your body through. They just kept going. The question is, what are you going to do for them tomorrow morning? Pick one change. Just one. the one that feels easiest. Do it for 7 days. Pay attention to how you feel by the end of the first week. Your energy, your clarity, how your body feels by mid-morning. I think you'll be surprised. And I think once you feel the difference, you won't want to go back. If this gave you something valuable today, subscribe and stay with this channel. We're here every week with the kind of information that actually helps you understand what's going on in your body and what simple, real changes you can make to protect your health and your independence for the long run. No nonsense. No gimmicks. Just things that work. I'll see you in the next one.